Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. And our first story is about a boss who doesn't know what it means when an employee quits. They wouldn't let me quit. So in college, I worked at a recreation store, basically a place that sells boats, ATVs, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, etc. Anyways, I was coming to the end of my school term and was about to start working at a civil firm. So I went to put in my 2-week notice like a normal person and got this exchange. Me. Hey boss, I know I mentioned it when I was hired, but I need to turn in my 2 weeks so I can go on my work term. Oh, okay, but can you still work weekends? I'd rather not. I'm going to be working 50-plus hour weeks, and I'd like weekends for family and friends. Okay, but I'll keep you on the books, and I'll call you if we need extra help from time to time. Yeah, no, I'm quitting. I have a full-time job now. Just not feasible to work 2 jobs now. Okay, fine. Good luck with your new job. So 2 weeks later, 7 a.m. phone call. Me. Hello? Hey, any chance you can come in today? Craphead, who always calls in, called in today. I'm at my cottage on an island. All right, well, if you could be here by noon, that'd be great. Dude, I don't work for you. Bye. It's still kind of awkward because that's where I go to buy parts for my dirt bike and snowmobile. But hey, what are you going to do? Double, I don't work here. I work at a GameStop that's on the other side of a Walmart parking lot. I was hired on during a seasonal period at another store and was retained as a normal employee until I was offered a promotion if I transferred to the store I'm working at now. At GameStop, we're given 30 minutes for break if we're scheduled to work more than 6 hours that day, and there are very limited food options for this area. The only places in range are a Sonic that regularly gives people food poisoning, a really expensive steakhouse, and the Walmart Subway. Needless to say, I eat a lot of Subway when I work. One particular day, while I was on my lunch break, I went over to the Subway and was sitting down playing on my phone eating my sandwich. I was minding my own business inside the restaurant, and this crazy lady walks up to me and says, "I need you to show me where you keep..." whatever she was looking for. Without making eye contact, I tell her, "I don't work here." Then I took another bite of my sandwich. Instead of leaving like a sane person, this lady proceeds to tell me, "Of course you do. You're just too lazy to do your job." I reach down, grab the lanyard that has my name badge on it, and show it to her. Now, in her defense, at the time, GameStop did require guys to wear khakis or slacks and a collared shirt, but that's where the similarities end. We were also required to wear at least one lanyard relating to something we're pushing and our name badges. I was wearing 3 lanyards, one for a game that had just released, one for Anime Month, and one for an older game that had my name badge with GameStop on it. Crazy lady then tries to make a grab at my phone, which I get to before her and proceed to stand up and quite loudly tell her, firstly, don't ever touch my phone. Secondly, if you were capable of reading, you would notice that my name tag does not say Walmart on it. Lastly, even if I worked here, I'm obviously not on the clock, which means I'm not only required not to help you, but also not allowed to by law. Go find someone else to bother with your nonsense. Crazy lady then demands that I get my manager. I proceed to tell her, my manager's not in today. If you want to speak to him, you'll have to go to the GameStop right over there and speak to him between the hours of 10 and 5 tomorrow. Looking at my watch, I have about 10 minutes before I'm supposed to clock back in, so I finish my sandwich and start to leave as I had a couple of things to buy for a get-together after I got off work. Crazy lady proceeds to try and block me and asks, "You expect me to believe there's no manager working right now?" I look at her dumbfounded and say, "The current manager on duty where I work is Fred, and in about 10 minutes when I clock back in, I will be the manager on duty." She huffs and storms off. I go to get my purchases, and I'm waiting in line at the self-checkout when Crazy Lady returns with a manager in tow. This particular manager happens to be a regular at my store and lets her know that not only do I not work for him, I don't work for Walmart at all. In fact, I work for GameStop on the other side of the parking lot. Crazy Lady then begins to try to tell him that there is no GameStop here, and he's just trying to cover for me. I stop paying attention as someone else starts walking up to me with my hands full of merchandise, waiting in line, and asks me for help. I politely tell him, "I don't work here." The guy ignores me and again tells me he needs help as he approaches me. Once again, I tell him, "I don't work here." He still comes towards me, ignoring me, repeating his need for help. This time with a Walmart associate assigned to self-checkout trying to get his attention so she can help him. I just look at him and loudly say, "Look, man, I don't work here." He acts apologetic and turns around to see the Walmart employee and proceeds to bother her. After getting my stuff, putting it in my car, and getting back to my store, I still had a couple minutes before I could clock back in without getting in trouble. So I decided to check if anything obscure is coming out that me or my wife would be interested in. About the time I'm supposed to be clocking in, cue crazy lady storming into my store. I sigh and clock in as she berates poor Fred behind the counter with something he has no clue about. I come out of the back office and she points at me, stating, "See, there he is. He was extremely rude to me at Walmart." He proceeds to let her know, "Ma'am, he's currently the manager on duty, so all complaints will need to be directed at him. If you want to speak to someone above him, you'll need to come back tomorrow morning." She yells, "I actually work for a living. I demand you call the store manager here immediately. They're on salary and can work at any time." That's when I intervene and say, actually, store managers at GameStop are hourly employees, not salary, which means they can't be called to the store outside of their normal shifts. Also, GameStop cannot punish me for anything that's done off the premises while I'm off the clock. If you wish to speak to the store manager, you'll need to come back tomorrow morning. Until then, you have exactly 15 seconds to leave before I call the police. She stands her ground and refuses to move until I grab the store phone. She takes off. I haven't seen her since, and my boss never mentioned anything about her, so I assume she decided it wasn't worth her time. Everybody must know when I'm out of the office. So yeah, a couple years ago, I was working for an IT company which also provided server management and general domain and email services. We had some really big companies as clients, so we were used to some really idiotic demands. But most of the time, we could convince the people whose main job seemingly was to be in charge to listen to our expertise. Not so Mr. Bigwig. Mr. Bigwig was the CEO of a large automobile sales company. He was also the type of guy who prided himself with being a great negotiator and thinking so far ahead regular people can't follow. And he was a complete butt to everyone. Mr. Bigwig went on a holiday once and set up an automatic out-of-office reply in his mail account, but as is the technical standard, everybody who wrote him during the time only received the reply just one single time. When Mr. Bigwig returned from his vacation, this infuriated him, so he called our support line and yelled and cussed his way up the hierarchy until he had me on the phone. I tried to tell him that this was working as intended and tried to explain why, but Mr. Bigwig wouldn't have any of it. This went all the way to our CTO, who sent him a waiver to sign, stating that we would deactivate this limitation, but not be liable for any consequences, in short. Then he told me to make the changes to MB's account. I tried to object, but the CTO just smiled, shrugged, and went into his office. Mr. Bigwig was happy. He won and booked this as his last negotiating victory. Now let us jump to December 29th of the same year. I get a phone call from Mr. Bigwig. He's not happy. He's not happy because he's blacklisted on about every blacklist in existence. He's not happy because he can't receive or send any email, and he's not happy because he can't find any mail he received during the Christmas holidays or near them. He can't find them because the nice number in brackets beside his inbox folder that indicates the amount of unread emails he has reads 50,000. A quick look around his server logs tell me that there are indeed some mails that he did not receive. 150,000 to be exact. They're still pending delivery because his inbox is full. He's also not happy because he's the laughingstock of everybody he ever respected. Now let me guide you as a reader to the bottom of this. What you don't know, and we also did not know at the time, Mr. Bigwig was a member of a very exclusive group of business owners, CEOs, and high-ranking politicians around the globe. The kind of people you would imagine sitting around a large oak table smoking cigars, drinking $200 whiskey, and discussing world dominance. This group had a mailing list. A crappy, basic mailing list. It went something like this. Bigwig, out of office reply. Hey, thank you for your mail, but I'm on holiday. I'll reply later. Some random dude at mailing list, Merry Christmas. Mailing list at everybody. Hey guys, some random dude is wishing you Merry Christmas. Bigwig at mailing list. Thanks for telling me, but I'm on holiday. I will reply later. Mailing list at everybody. Hey guys, Mr. Bigwig is on holiday. He will reply later. Bigwig at mailing list. Thanks for telling me, but I'm on holiday. I will reply later. Mailing list at effing everybody. Hey guys, Mr. Bigwig is on holiday. He will reply later. Bigwig at mailing list. Thanks for telling me, but I'm on holiday. I will reply later. Mailing list at effing everybody. Hey guys, Mr. Bigwig is on holiday. He will reply later. Bigwig at mailing list. Thanks for telling me, but I'm on holiday. I'll reply later. Mailing list at effing everybody. Hey guys, Mr. Bigwig is on holiday. He'll reply later. Repeat until the servers give out. So B. Diddy was not the only one who had thousands and thousands of mails in his folder. All his fancy pants networking contacts had too. Mr. Bigwig raged hard at everyone who was brave enough to get on the phone with him, threatened to sue us for millions of euros, and to end us as a business. We finally put him through to our founder, who listened to his rant and told him he would send him a solution within 10 minutes. He sent 2 documents, a scan of the signed waiver in which the consequences of disabling the out-of-office message restriction were outlined in detail, and a service contract allowing us to fix the problem to our abilities without any financial budget limitations, but with a really nice, read enormous, estimated budget. It was a good year for the company, with an unexpected spike in revenue just before New Year's Eve. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.